Welcome back to ETBU Extra, live here on the ETBU Sports Net. We're broadcasting live from the first floor of the Ornella Student Center. As we look across the Student Center, we see students enjoying their time during lunch break. Marbley Baptist Church has come over and served lunch to the students. Of course, there's always Sub Connection and Jasmine here as well as we talk Tiger athletics each week at noon. We bring our guest on the show. He's a member of the Tiger basketball team. He's a senior. His name is Bret Atkins, and probably the most unusual thing about Bret is that his hometown is in Croatia. So tell me about living in Croatia and about the fact that your parents are missionaries.
Well, first off, when you say my hometown is Croatia, that's actually where I've lived the most. I've lived in a lot of different places because my dad was a pastor and then a missionary. So, with parents as missionaries, you move around a lot and you see a lot of different things.
So I know right now your parents have been back in the States and got to see you to play basketball. How's that been for you as an ETB Tiger to have your parents here to watch you play?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, especially because they didn't get to see me play before. So, especially having my dad around because he kind of introduced me to the basics of the game and all of that. And just to have him see me play in my last year of college is a lot of fun.
When did you start playing competitive basketball?
I started playing competitively when I was 11, I believe. I lived in Bosnia for 4 years, and when I lived in Bosnia, I just played soccer. But in between Bosnia and Croatia, I lived in Austin, Texas for 1 year, and that 1 year I watched a lot of basketball on TV, and my granddad had a little basket in the driveway, and I would just play all day. And then I went back to Croatia, and I said, forget soccer, I'm just going to play basketball. So.
Well, that's kind of my next question is, being in a foreign country where soccer is king, I wanted to know what pulled you to basketball, and I see what pulled you to basketball. Let me ask this question. What do you like about being a part of Tiger basketball and playing basketball for the Tigers?
Well, my favorite thing probably is it's a little bit different than places I've played before, and the level of unselfishness that we have, and just the positivity around the team. There's not a lot of infighting or any of that goes on. People just accept their roles and play basketball and have fun. So.
Now I'm going to ask Bret a question. I found this out last week. I've known Bret since he was a junior on the squad. Many people don't know this, but he has a hearing loss, and you have to rely on reading lips a lot of times. How has that made you a better basketball player?
Well, I remember when I was a freshman in college, my coach and I talked about it, and he said that one of the best ways you can overcome this is by being in better shape than everybody else, because that way I wouldn't lose focus, and that's what I need. I need to be able to focus on people's body language, and it's hard to read lips when you're exhausted. So I think that helped me, just because that really made me focus on my physical conditioning, and I think that helped me a lot.
As I watch you play, I see some very deep competitiveness in you. And do you think that's because you're trying to make up for the hearing loss?
Honestly, I don't think that's it. I think that probably stems back from my childhood, like in Bosnia. I played soccer there, and if you play soccer in Bosnia, like, you got to be ready to play. And I really think that's where it came from, because people there, they don't have a lot of money, they don't have much, they've just been through a war, but soccer, they take it really seriously. So I think that's where it comes from.
Well, as the play-by-play voice of the Tigers, many times I've called you driving into the lane with the shot up. I've also called many times when you set up for the three and pop the three, nothing but net. Which is your favorite part of the offensive side of the basketball, popping the three or driving to the basket?
Whichever one's open, to be honest. If I'm really on a roll, I would say making a three is a really good feeling, but whichever one's open, really.
Another question. You're a student here at East Texas Baptist University. It's difficult to be a student athlete. How do you manage your time, make the grades, and just stay at the top of your game along the academic side?
Well, I think, like you said, you got to manage your time. So when you come home from practice, you got to have some time set aside to do it. You got to make up your mind that you're going to do it, because even as far as going to class, it's pretty tempting a lot of the times to skip class. So you just have to have the will to do it. That's the most important thing, and set aside time to do your homework or study for a test.
Any cultural differences you had to adjust to coming back to the States to live? Because I've lived in a foreign country before, and I remember some problems coming back from being overseas and trying to get into American life. Any cultural differences you had to say, hey, this is different because I'm back in America?
Yeah, there's definitely some cultural differences, kind of some subtle things with how people interact with each other. And also America is a very rule-based culture. And where I came from in the Balkans, rules, nobody cares about them. So learning to take the rules seriously, I would say, was a major thing.
Final question for you. What do you like most about being a student at a Christian university?
I just like the way people treat each other, I would say, is my favorite thing. Everybody, people treat each other with respect. People treat each other with kindness, and that would be my favorite thing.
Well, Bret, thank you for your time today on ETBU Extra. Pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully I'm calling some threes tomorrow night that you pop, as well as a drive in the hoop and some good defense as well.
Yes, sir.
Bret Atkins has been our guest here today on ETBU Extra. Don't go away. We continue to talk basketball, but Lady Tiger style. Coming up next, we'll talk with the head coach of the Lady Tigers, Edsel Hamilton. That's next on ETBU Extra.